Alright, so I redid my water lines, and let's see if this blocks some of that light out of there. Alright, I re-ran some water lines. The service line to the house is 3/4 line, and I'll show you what I did here. I'll turn this around. There you go. Alright, so that's this pipe coming out of the ground right here. That's the service line. That's the one that runs from the meter to the house and supplies the rest of the house. Then I put this PEX. There's a PVC. This is PVC pipe down here. If you look right there at the bottom of that PEX, there's a little white ring. That indicates that that's a PVC PEX fitting on this side. And then on this side here, you'll see how there's a tan ring around the top pipe coming out. That's PEX fitting. Anyways, it runs from there into a T right there. And how I initially had it, that was the original line going up into the house to CPVC from PVC, and I just put a PEX fitting right there. See if that'll focus. Nope, won't focus. Alright. Anyways, then it goes over. So what I did is on the other side of that water main going up into the house where that CPVC pipe is, there's another ball valve up there, switch, and that used to be the water main, the main shutoff for the house. However, I went ahead and closed that, and now there's nothing running up through that top pipe there. It's just going right to that first T, and it goes over here and to another 3/4 T. That 3/4 T on the bottom, that bottom run, runs over to the supply line to the house. That finishes off the run there into where the water heater room is and the actual filter, the whole house water filter is. And that top run, it comes up here and tees off and goes into, it comes over here. Comes over here. And this is what supplies all this, that top ball valve up there. That's a 3/4 ball valve, and it supplies the water lines to the spigots. So all of the around the house, any of the spigots are run off of this, off that 3/4 supply line. Anyways, it's open right now, and it goes out to a 3/4 spigot over here. And the idea behind that is if I ever run out of water or I need to backfeed the house, I can actually just come out here and connect a 3/4 line to this 3/4 spigot right here. And then I can backfeed the house from like an outside water source, like water storage or a well or something like that. That was the idea in an emergency situation for water for the house. And then, okay, so it goes to that T, and then it breaks off and goes to that other ball valve, and that goes to the front. There, both the porches, I put a 1/2 inch water spigot up there, or a water faucet, or for for like garden hose. Anyways, it runs the length of the house. It runs up under there and then turns. And I used, let's see, if you can see, I just hang them up on there. I just hang them up underneath the house with zip ties. And then if you look over here, I didn't use, like, they have, see how there's that 90-degree, see how there's these elbows on here like that? Well, they have these turns that allow you to not even have to make a cut or make that connection. You just put it in this little holder device, and then it does the work for you. And I'll show you what that looks like under here. So if we come under here, you can see one right there. That's how I ran it up under the porch. So it goes through here and then up and out through that hole there, and then I just connected it with hangers to the underneath of this deck here. And then there's one of those turnouts right there. You can see that. Here, I'll just crawl up under there so you can get a better view of it. All right. So that's what it looks like right there. Yep, that just makes a 90-degree turn in your PEX fitting for you without having to make a cut. But only one side of this clips on, like this side here, that clips on. This side up here, you actually, it's a complete circle, and it slides all the way around the, okay, hold on. It slides all the way around the PEX line from the first part. Let me see. Here we go. Okay, so it runs underneath the porch, and it comes up here. It comes up here through the deck, and I put these holders on here. I mean, you know, just so it keeps the PEX looking straight on there. I don't think you really need them, but it just kind of buttons it up, makes it a little bit nicer, makes it a little bit cleaner look to it. And then, so now I have a PEX fitting right here, or not a, it is a PEX fitting hose clamp, but the PEX runs right up here to this. So I actually have water right out here on my porch, which I like. That's what I like. So now I don't have to go down to like the front of the house, say, and hook up a garden hose. I can just walk up here and then you know, like rinse my shoes off or something if you're outside walking and there's mud or something like that, or you need to wash the dogs off. You can just give them a bath right outside, right on the deck. And I kind of did the same thing here on the front. So here on the front, you can see this 90. Here's another 90 right here. Right here. But I didn't see any way to mount this, like actually, you know, mount this little device to something if you wanted to. So what I did is I just ran deck screws on the outside of this. Just to keep its shape and its form. Kind of keep it in a rigid position for moving around like this. This is just sitting straight up on top of here. Anyways, just go right up here. Just put it right, mounted it right there on the edge of this 2x4 or 4x4, and then these they call them drop ears or something like that. But if you look on the actual fitting itself, it does have placement for mount, you know, for mounting, something to mount to. And those are the ones that I got, and it just runs right through that 1/2-inch line back out there to that ball valve, to the T, back into the 3/4, back into the service line. And that's it. I mean, that's kind of the idea. I wanted to make sure that I had water points, you know, water access points around the perimeter. And that's how I did it. Oh yeah, let me show you the inside. It's where the water heater is. So I went ahead and put in one of these went ahead and put in one of these hot water heaters. Excuse me, water heater, because I mean, what else is it gonna do, right? It's just gonna heat the water anyways. So it's gonna get dark here. Turn this around. And if you look in here, this is how the water, this is where the original water tank used to be, right here. As you can tell, okay, so 50-gallon water tank is what, 50 gallons. And then a gallon of water is 8 pounds, 8 pounds per gallon. So 8 and 5 is what, 48? 8 times 8 is 48, 8 times 4 is... All right, so if you have a 50-gallon water tank sitting right there in that one little area, 8 pounds per gallon of water, and there's 50 gallons, that comes out to 400 pounds. So you have 400 pounds sitting in that one little area, and that doesn't really make any sense. And you have the hot water stays hot all the time. This, it's off, like when when you're not using it, it turns off. This is the REM, RETEX 13 kW. It uses 160 amp breaker, and it just replaced the same breaker spot that my hot water, or the water heater, came out of. That thing only weighs 8 pounds. Here's my foot in comparison to it. You know, you want to get like a size measurement thing going. Okay, so the water supply line runs through here, runs here, runs up here, and into the whole house water filter. And then what I did is I just backfed it through. This used to be the incoming supply line. Oops. This used to be the incoming supply line right here, but now this is, and then this is the new one that I rerouted. I'm interested to see how it holds up during the winter, see if it breaks, freezes, whatever, if I still get water through there, if it doesn't just turn to ice. And then it goes into this whole house water filter. If you can see it, I've only had it on here for like about a week. I don't know if that's good, but you can see the sediment in there, or particulates coming off of city water. See it? All right. Oh, and then I run it into this when I have the extension cord hooked up. But this is a this bar right here. This is a UV light. That's yeah, that's UV. LED black light, and then I use that and blow it through the filter. I mean, I've always heard that UV light's supposed to kill off stuff, so that's why I got that in there. And then so it goes to this T, goes back down the T, then goes back over here, and then feeds. And this is now the main water line going into the house. Cold water, main cold water, and then this line here is this line continued. This line here is this line, goes up here, goes through a 20-inch, you know, braided 1/2 inch water line into the water heater, and then that's the inlet, that's the outlet, goes down, back around, and right through here into these valves here, into this one. I mean, I looked at the red, I looked at the blue, and I looked at the white fitting, or the PEX line, and they're all rated at the same, or at least all the ones that were at the store that I got it at Home Depot. I get this Apollo stuff. And for the hot water, I figured I just, you know, wrap the line with red electrical tape. So I know which one's red, or hot. That way you can just buy one roll of PEX line white and then install it for everything. Alright, the amazing wiring. That's a 6-in-2 wire coming out here. 6.2R or 2.6, however you want to call it. And a resisting cable line there. Wrap. And I have it in here with these brass nuts called turnies. You just put the two wires together, take your two adjustable wrenches, and then just tighten the shit out of them. And then what I did is I wrapped the shit out of them with I wrapped the heck out of them with electrical tape, 3M electrical tape. This used to be the drain line or the overflow or the pressure relief thing for the other tank, or maybe, you know what, I think this was the overflow. So there's usually like a metal pan down there for water heaters, tank water heaters. There's usually a thing down there. However, I took that out and this still remains. I just have this in here right now just to plug that hole up until I can get some more of the spray and foam insulation, and then I'll spray in those holes right there. That one right there, and that one right there. Okay. What did I mount it to? I mounted it to this board right here. Is just, I think it's 5/16 OSB. Screwed it to the stud, painted it white, and then put all the extra stuff on there. If you look up there, you can see where I cut it off at. That wood is really porous, so if you're gonna paint it, just remember that it's gonna soak up a lot of paint. Make sure you have enough for it. All right, that's it for the plumbing that I did in the house. Well, you know what? Hold on, I've got a little bit more over here. I can show you what I did underneath the sinks. Yeah, I'll do the plumbing for the sinks. I'll show you how I did that. All right, there's these things called cam locks that they use on like siphoning frac water, oil tanks, pump trucks, anything with like pressure in it, behind it. Turn these lights on here. Turn this around. And here's the sink. So I have this is a bar sink. If you want to look, this is a bar sink. It's Moen. I think you pick it up for like 40 bucks. These are $30 on Amazon. These are two different ones. I think brushed nickel, one's stainless finish, but they kind of look the same, like on the handles, how it's squared off here on these knobs here, square. Yeah, that's the other flat. All right, I had to get a washer to make this actually fit in this 2-inch hole, or it would have passed straight through. This one didn't have to do any modification to it, just fit right in there. Both of these I think were like 30. This one I think was 32, or this one was 30 and this one was 32 bucks off Amazon. Alright, so underneath the sink here I have a cam lock. You just pop these off, and you know, a lot of people have issues with their drains and things like that, but why shouldn't it just be like portable? Like, you just walk into your house and then disconnect your pipe. Well, anyways, this is just a down tube. This is just a down tube for this 5-gallon bucket right here. And what you do is you just look in there, see how it's full. And the dishwater just drains from there into this 5-gallon pail, and then I go throw it outside or throw it in a bucket into a water, you know, like gray water or something like that. But if I wanted to just connect this straight to the original disposal line in the house, I take this this hose. It's just inch and a half inside diameter spa hose, and then I just run it down here straight into here with another cam lock. So I got a cam lock on the other end over here, and then it just goes straight down in there. This is stainless steel 3/8. I think that's 3/8. Yeah, 3/8 line right there for the hot and cold water lines coming out of there. And then if you look back here, you can see how I kind of ran it. Ran it this way, put it through a T. There's a water filter back here. It's one of those new wave 10 stages. It's supposed to be a countertop mount filter where you just plug it right into your nozzle on the countertop. Yeah, you just plug it into your faucet coming out. Alright, anyways, I have a shut-off valve right there for it, and this way I can control the flow actually coming out or going through the filter, so it doesn't have to be full pressure or that of what's coming through the sink. Is that it? I think that is it. If I was ever going to connect drain lines into a house, this is probably how I would do it with those cam locks. Leave the pipe kind of exposed, cam lock everything, so if you drop something down the pipe, you know, you can just pop that thing off. You don't have to call anyone to come over and disconnect the pipe. I try to make things very simple for people. Try to what do you call it, like plug and play. Plug and play. Here's another view of the filter, or the inline plumbing line coming into the house. That's a UV light right there. And then there's the water heater. That's the electrical. Alright, now I'm done. Peace, guys. Now, what do they always say on here? Like, subscribe, and comment, and hit the notifications. Alright, later.